Hello everyone, this is Chase Pounds. Today today is known as Juneteenth Day, which marks the day when when the last of the slaves, which was primarily in Galveston, Texas, learned that they're free, marking the official end of slavery in the U.S. After 2 years after originally the president Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, guaranteeing freedom for all slaves, black American slaves. And in this video, I'll be discussing about my knowledge about is now just been recently declared as a holiday, but the history of this festive day. My prior knowledge of this festive day, and beginning with most of my life, growing up, grade school, elementary, and high school, I didn't have too much to know about Juneteenth. I did remember I had a Black History calendar, and my mother told me that Juneteenth is a day that's supposed to something to do with slavery, marking the end of slavery. That was a little bit it, but I didn't think much about it. And my mother, as I said, had some knowledge about it when she was a kid growing up, because people mentioned that it was about, again, the end of slavery. And my dad didn't know anything about Juneteenth at all. It was only recently, in recent years, at the mass shooting in 2015, the infamous mass shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. That's where he was aware of the Juneteenth holiday, because the guy who was supposedly committing the shooting was had been committed around the day of the Juneteenth holiday, in which the church had a lot of history, which was a church that had been around during the time of slavery itself. And then it was the site of uprisings, revolts, and massacres. And of course, I didn't really see people really talk that much about Juneteenth in the media and on the news, on TV, or in general. Even people I was around at school never really talked about Juneteenth. There was never a lesson. There was never something that was a student or teacher brought up in class. And so it's only recent. It was only up to about the time of the George Floyd fatal shooting of George Floyd in 2020 that people start really embracing Juneteenth, or I should say acknowledging Juneteenth. Juneteenth before that, prior to that, going back 2019, it was something that I really heard people talk about. But as I said, the George Floyd, that people started embracing Juneteenth, which I think George Floyd itself kind of marked somewhat of a racial reckoning or awakening, where things were being canceled or removed or so forth, such as cancellation of trying to, as well as interpreting things that may seem as racially offensive, such as with Gone with the Wind. And that seemed, as I said, is a turning point for Juneteenth, for the recognition of Juneteenth, and that in the following year, President Joe Biden declared it a national holiday, a federal holiday, and though Juneteenth itself it has already been a festive celebration going back, I guess, again at ever since the ending of slavery itself. It particularly was particularly strong in the city of Galveston, which was, as I said, the state is where the last of the slaves learned that they were free. And there was always, and I mentioned this in the previous video I did last year, that Juneteenth was often a celebration where people had parades, picnics, people ate foods, barbecue, just like the same treatment as 4th of July. Though unfortunately, even now, it don't still seem to have the same recognition as Juneteenth. In my opinion, I think 4th of July is still gets more better recognition, I guess, more celebration than Juneteenth. But usually the foods would be watermelon, usually stuff that was like red, foods that were red, because I guess it represents the African colors, red, black, and green. And red watermelon was consumed, sometimes red Kool-Aid or soda pop, red velvet cake, and so forth. And Juneteenth has been representing pop culture, such as in the show Blackish. They were talking about the origins of Juneteenth and what it stands for. And hopefully there'll be more. Juneteenth will get more recognition over the years, and hopefully there'll be more. It had the same treatment as any other holiday, where people could take off of work and barbecue, celebrate, as well as take honor and I guess take pride and honor of what the holiday stands for and in the history of our ancestors. Though some argue that Juneteenth shouldn't be about celebration and having a holiday, but should be opportunity for reparations, as for the case of the great historian Claude Anderson. And which I agree that I think there should be reparation for what was done wrong for us, for people of color in the past. And there's also been reparations, as I mentioned before in my previous video, for other tragedies and incidents such as the Black Wall Street Massacre in 1921. One which, as well, the Black Wall Street Massacre isn't really known about as well, as much as the Juneteenth holiday. And it's only recently, again, following the racial reckoning of George Floyd, that it seemed like the Black Wall Street was getting a lot of recognition, with it also being around the 100th centennial as well. And so the black. And before that, I rarely heard the Black Wall Street being referenced on the news until again around this racial reckoning of George Floyd. I had probably knowledge of it, but it wasn't really talked about. And again, hopefully, you'll get the same recognition as well, as people start to honor and learn about the past. Yes. And that's all I have to say about holiday. I kind of discussed this before last year in my previous videos about Juneteenth. The previous video I did last summer about Juneteenth. This is another video by Chase Pounds. Happy Juneteenth. Feel free to comment. Stay tuned for my next video.